More Texas troops are on the way to the border. We'll tell you where they're coming from and just how many are heading south. And federal layoffs hitting the agency that tracks the country's weather, what it means for keeping people safe from natural disasters. But first, let's talk about the weather. It's been a nice one out there, but we could see some rain coming up soon.
Yeah, in the next few hours or so, rain chances do begin to work their way back in. 80 was our high temperature today, and there's a very busy weather pattern ahead. So let's dive right into the current conditions. You'll notice on the horizon, mostly sunny skies today, and that was the case yesterday, today, and really not tomorrow when clouds will begin to work on in. So let's pull up the weather graphics here and get going. Here's downtown Austin looking nice and pretty. Have a few cumulus clouds on the horizon and still some sunshine. UV index was around a 6 or a 7, so definitely you could feel the warmth out and about. Winds are ripping in out of the south up to 25 to 30 miles per hour and will slowly wind down as the evening progresses, but you could see some gusts up to 30 to 35 miles per hour at the time being. Temperature-wise, 78 in Austin, 80 in Marble Falls, 81 in Llano County, 80 in Mason County, and then east of I-35 toward Lee and down toward Milam, it's probably sitting in the mid-70s or so. Cooling back down to the upper 60s by 10 p.m. We'll see increasing cloud cover through the evening and overnight tonight, heading off into your Monday, and those rain chances pick back up to just around 10% or so. So fairly dry for your Monday, but Monday night into Tuesday, some thunderstorms are possible. And then beyond Tuesday morning into the afternoon on Tuesday, we will have extreme wildfire conditions gusting up to 50 miles per hour. We'll show you the impacts of that coming up in just a bit.
Thank you, Tommy. Hundreds of weather forecasters and other federal, national, oceanic, and atmospheric administration employees on probationary status were fired last week. The cuts include meteorologists who do crucial local forecasts in National Weather Service offices across the country. Paul Wagner explains how these cuts could impact us.
This letter, obtained by News 4, was sent to a probationary meteorologist at the National Weather Service and tells the employee they are not fit for continued employment. The letter was sent to as many as 108 probationary meteorologists working at the National Weather Service. The NWS is one of the components that falls under NOAA. The reduction in force could mean some National Weather Service offices, which are typically staffed 24 hours a day, could be left unstaffed.
On most shifts, there's only 2 forecasters on duty. It is very conceivable that there will not be enough forecasters to keep these offices continually running 24/7. And what will happen to the forecast in mornings is of great concern to us.
Within NOAA, Richard Hearn says 500 probationary employees were let go.
The primary purpose of NOAA and the Weather Service is protection of life and property. That's a fundamental role of government. And so why cut something that protects people's lives and gives us early warnings for protection of property?
Former News 4 chief meteorologist Bob Ryan has spent decades warning viewers of foul and dangerous weather heading their way.
It's like a 3-legged stool. Take away anyone and it falls apart. And we're dependent on the lead of the Weather Service in issuing the warnings. No private person wants to issue a tornado warning.
Project 2025, a Heritage Foundation document described as a roadmap to reshape the federal government, calls for breaking up NOAA and commercializing forecast operations. U.S. Representative Glenn Ivey, whose congressional district includes some NOAA offices, says federal workers are terrified of what's to come.
There's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of misinformation coming out of the Trump administration. Frankly, it appears that they really are intentionally trying to traumatize federal employees.
Representative Ivey says he has some hope the courts will reverse what's already been done to the probationary employees, and they will eventually win their jobs back.
Thousands of U.S. troops are headed to the U.S.-Mexico border. That's according to an announcement from the Pentagon. The U.S. Northern Command said Fort Carson in Colorado is sending 2,400 soldiers, and another 500 soldiers from an unknown fort will also be deployed. The forces will arrive in the coming weeks. This comes as President Donald Trump seeks to clamp down on illegal immigration and fulfill one of his top promises of his campaign. There are already 9,200 U.S. troops in total at the southern border, including 4,200 deployed under federal orders and about 5,000 National Guard troops. The Vatican says Pope Francis rested well overnight. It comes after the Holy Father suffered an isolated breathing crisis on Friday. His condition later stabilized. In addition to continuing treatment this morning, he also met 2 Vatican officials at the hospital and offered thanks to well-wishers for their prayers and support in a written message. Microsoft says a global outage Saturday night that left tens of thousands unable to access email and other apps is resolved. Services such as Microsoft Outlook, Exchange, Teams, Microsoft 365 all went down, according to the Down Detector. More than 37,000 individuals reported an Outlook outage, and roughly 24,000 reported an outage in the tech company's 365 service. Roughly 150 users also reported their team accounts were down. In a Microsoft 365 status update posted on X, the company said it confirmed that the service was restored. The fires may be out, but they're still causing trouble in Southern California. The EPA says because of the hazardous material left behind from the fires, the Army Corps of Engineers has to get involved. Aaron Myers saw the cleanup efforts firsthand.
The EPA finished phase 1 of their work in the Palisades and Eaton fire areas earlier this week, removing household hazardous waste from properties.
So we have teams go in and physically remove household hazardous materials from the properties, as well as lithium-ion batteries and other battery and e-waste from the properties.
Thousands of properties, though, still have physical safety hazards that make it unsafe for EPA teams to be on the ground. So now the Army Corps of Engineers will take the lead during phase 2 cleanup.
We, for this mission, do not have heavy equipment with us to help remove those physical safety hazards like the beams and the debris that you see behind me here. So we have to defer those properties to phase 2 to the Army Corps, who as a part of their mission does have that right equipment and expertise to deal with those physical hazards on the properties.
Residents cannot begin rebuilding until properties have been cleared, but officials say deferring the properties to the Army Corps shouldn't change the time frame when it comes to the rebuilding process.
The Corps is already here, right? They're following right behind us, and as soon as we defer a property to phase 2 for the issues we've discussed, it goes right into the Corps' bucket to kind of address that property.
Fire debris has also made its way into the ocean, leading to an ocean water advisory from Las Flores State Beach to Santa Monica State Beach. Sediment tests are being done, and the county's Department of Beaches and Harbors has been removing debris on a daily basis. At this time, beachgoers are encouraged to stay out of the water.
But an ocean water quality advisory does not mean do not go to the beach at all or do not go in the water. It's very much we really advise you to stay out of the water, but if you do decide to go in, it's at your own risk. But please stay out.
We could see rain in the next couple of days, so there are some concerns for teams in those fire areas. But the EPA tells me with previous storms, they were still able to do their work.
And speaking of fires, we have to closely be watching Tuesday afternoon. A front will move through during the morning hours, and then winds will pick up. And with dry air in play, we have a extreme wildfire danger for Tuesday afternoon for most of the KXAN viewing area.
And Republicans looking to cut federal spending are setting their eyes on SNAP, also known as food stamps. This week, the House advanced a plan to slash billions from the nutrition program in the coming years. Raquel Martin has the latest.
Fridays are now farmers market day at Bread for the City in Washington, D.C.
People aren't able to stretch their dollars as much as they used to.
Tracy Collins, who leads the food program, says lines are growing. Even combined with SNAP dollars, she says hundreds of families are struggling to get by.
The prices of groceries have gone up significantly, so stretching their SNAP dollars has become impossible.
Anxiety is setting in at the local food bank. Up the street, Republicans in Congress are eyeing cuts to SNAP in next month's budget. One idea on the table, expand work requirements for able-bodied adults without dependents. By law, SNAP is not available to most adults 18 to 54 if they are not working at least 20 hours per week after 3 months.
What do you think the impact of making it a more strict will be.
Most of the folks that we're seeing who are able-bodied, who are unemployed, are looking for work. And when I ask them about their income, they're like, hopefully next month. Finding employment isn't as easy as going out and just saying, oh, I'm going to go get a job today.
This 26-year-old is one of them.
I was homeless, and then I ended up getting housing. Even though I've been working, it's been hard to find a job that is maintainable.
Democrats are promising they'll fight to protect SNAP.
We're attacking the children of rural areas. We're attacking the children of working families.
But Republicans like Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt argue it's being abused.
I think there's a lot of fraud in the system. Those are savings that we can plug into the budget.
SNAP costs taxpayers roughly $110 billion a year and accounts for less than 2% of federal spending. Congress must pass a budget by March 14th. In Washington, Raquel Martin.
First warning weather with meteorologist Tommy House.
All right, a live look right now of Llano County. We have mostly sunny skies and a sunset that's going to be happening in the next few minutes. 78, that is the temperature right now in Austin. Winds out of the south-southeast at about 10 to 15 miles per hour, and humidity is at 43%. So it was a warm day. Our normal high is at 70, so we're about 8 degrees warmer than normal as of this hour. Here's the evening planner. By 9 p.m., the upper 60s, and by 11 p.m., 67. We'll have partly cloudy skies turning mostly cloudy overnight heading off into your Monday morning. Tomorrow's high temperatures will have winds out of the south, so all of us will be in the upper 70s and maybe some low 80s out toward San Saba, Mason, and Llano County, 77 in Gillespie County, 78 in Austin, and also 78 up in Williamson County. Clouds and radar, so as I mentioned, we'll see mostly cloudy skies begin to build in, and this most likely will be continuing through the overnight hours here. Let's fast forward into the evening. And then by around Monday morning at 6 a.m., you'll notice a few scattered showers out and about. I'm keeping rain chances at around 10% for your Monday and a little bit more rain coverage through the evening hours Monday into your Tuesday. So by Tuesday, you're going to notice a few different things. First, through the overnight hours Monday into Tuesday, a few thunderstorms could be possible along a cold front that's going to move from west to east. Around 6:37 a.m. through Tuesday into Wednesday, this should be clearing out. So not too much rain when it's all said and done, and I'm not expecting any sort of severe weather here in Central Texas. 1/10 of an inch to a 1/4 of an inch for about most of the viewing area, and then Milam, portions of Lee and Fayette County, 1/4 of an inch to an inch. Now, I'm not going to rule out a thunderstorm or two, but the bulk of the severe weather looks to the north and east of our viewing area. Beyond the cold front passing by Tuesday morning, you're going to notice that winds will pick up pretty substantially through the late morning into the afternoon hours, gusting by 3 p.m. on Tuesday between 40 and 55 miles per hour. So with the drier air that's going to be in place, we're talking about relative humidity between around 5 and 15%. Hence the wildfire concerns. We have a fire warning watch in this tan color here for Burnett, Llano County, Williamson County, Austin, Bastrop, and then south and east of Austin toward Gillespie County and Blanco County. This goes from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. for your Tuesday. So I'm also really concerned about, on top of the winds gusting out of the west, we are in a drought. We're actually about 8.9 inches behind where we should be, looking at 180-day rainfall anomalies. So with the drier air in place, the Texas A&M Forest Service has a level 5 out of 5 extreme wildfire concerns, mostly west of I-35 toward the hill country, but this also does include portions of Milam, Lee, and Fayette County as well. So we really need to be watching this, especially with the gusty conditions through Tuesday afternoon. I think by Tuesday, even the wildfire risk should calm down pretty substantially, and I do expect a red flag warning to be issued most likely through the afternoon hours on your Tuesday. Beyond the first few days of the work week, we'll see temperatures in the mid-70s once that front passes on by, back up to the mid-80s on Friday before our next cold front moves through, most likely a dry front Saturday into next weekend, and then next weekend low to mid-70s with partly cloudy skies. Tonight, 65. We'll see increasing cloud cover out and about. Winds will be out of the southeast at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Expect those gusts as well to be up to 20 to 25 miles per hour throughout your Monday. High of 78 tomorrow. We'll keep the mostly cloudy skies. Maybe some sunshine breaking through from time to time, but the big picture is overnight storms Monday through Tuesday morning, and then by Tuesday afternoon, that's when that critical wildfire threat really begins to ramp up. Again, gusting up to 55 miles per hour, and it's going to be a very dry air mass in place. So updates here at the KXAN First Warning Weather Center through the next few days.
This is KXAN Sports, brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
Hey, good afternoon, all, and happy Sunday. Senior day for Texas women's basketball. Emotional for this group that's done so much for this program. 4 seniors getting honored after the game. Let's pretend like this is before the game, because there was some business to take care of for the #1 team in the country and the Longhorns against Florida. Okay, to the actual game. Texas, if they win, they clinch at least a share of the regular season title in the SEC. Just a nasty crossover from Madison Booker. Didn't get the love it needed, I think, on the broadcast. She had 11 points, only behind 14 points it is. Kyla Oldacre, 2 of her 18 right there. Then on the fast break, it's Brianna Preston up ahead. Knocks that one in. The freshman, always excitable. And Texas starting to really pull away from a Florida team that was rolling early. In the third quarter, off an inbounds play, Shea Holly, one of those seniors, knocks in the jumper. Then it's Oldacre again inside. A big and one. She's usually no emotion, but showing some here on senior day. Then inside to Rory Harmon, who gets hit hard. She ended up, of course, staying in the game, one of the toughest players in the league. Fourth quarter, Taylor Jones, 4th senior, finally getting on the score sheet as well. And Texas clinches a share of the SEC crown after South Carolina wins as well. Here's Vic Schaefer postgame.
They have been incredible for our team, our program. Shea's been here 5 years, Taylor 3, Rory and Amo 4. Just special. It's been a special time in my life. I appreciate them so much. They're the ultimate warriors. They're so competitive.
All right, welcome back. We've been saying for a while Texas baseball lost their season opener and has not lost since. Still true, and so far through a tough weekend, this team is continuing to impress. Now in Las Vegas against Illinois. Too much orange on the field today, but, you know, they divvy it up jersey-wise. How about Colin Jennings here for Illinois, trying to spring a mini upset here early in the season over a Texas team that's been rolling? That puts the Illini up 6-1 in the fourth, but in the bottom half of the 4th inning, Max Ballou, reigning Big 12 Player of the Year, up the gap. Really wanted to hit that Coors Light sign, but just quite didn't hit it hard enough. That makes it 6-3 after that, or excuse me, 6-4. Then it's tied 6-6 in the bottom of the 6th. Jalen Flores smokes this one to right center. These two, some of the veterans that have come back and making a major impact for this Longhorns team. They would take the lead after. Look how fired up the Texas veteran is. Longhorns never look back. Another dominant win as they go 3-0 this weekend in Las Vegas. Okay, quickly, Texas softball, the first of 2 games for them today. Scoreless in the bottom of the 2nd, and Jolie Mitchell drops down a bunt. Reese Atwood with scores, and the Longhorns go 2-0 on the day. They take down South Florida in the first of 2, Alabama A&M in the second. All right. To the ATX Open, the final today. No Peyton Stearns in this one as she lost early in the tournament, but pretty much an ideal final the ATX Open could have hoped for. All-American with the #1 seed, Jess Pegula there as well against... It is McCartney Kessler, and yes, Matthew McConaughey there, as he always tends to be at every Austin sporting event. And McCartney Kessler able to save set point there in the first, but Pegula, after a double fault from Kessler, takes the first set, much easier in the second set, and the #1 seed, Jess Pegula, able to take the ATX Open crown, and she is the 2025 champion over at Westwood Country Club. And it was an eventful and a beautiful day to watch some tennis over at Westwood.
I was going to say, it's so cool to see how that facility changes from before until after. You don't even recognize it. And I mean, it's interesting.
And it's quite the setup for the final, especially.
All right, we've got a final look at weather, but all these warmer temperatures has us talking about ice cream.
Yeah, so hungry for ice cream. Can't stop thinking about it.
It's going to say the pot of gold. That's what I want.
Yeah, but you don't know what it is. You're just telling me to get it.
Hey, if it looks good.
I've never heard of that either.
Well,
He's making stuff up.
I'll tell you if it's good or not over at Amy's.
All right, let us know. All right, here's the final look at your 7-day forecast. Spring-like temperatures continuing. Going to have some showers, maybe thunderstorms Monday night into Tuesday morning. Then I'm really concerned for Tuesday afternoon. We have a extreme wildfire risk there. So we'll have updates throughout the next few days here at KXAN. And also on our KXAN.com blog, we have a little write-up about that wildfire risk for you to read.
I was going to say, with that rain coming, KXAN weather app, perfect to download right now. Thanks for joining us. We will see y'all tonight on KXAN News at 10. Thanks for joining us.